Hello and welcome to another video in the Faculty Basic Training Series for Canvas here at Mercy College of Ohio. In this video, we're going to look at the dashboard, we're going to learn about the sandbox, some navigation settings, and an overview of the file system in Canvas. And what we're looking at right now is what is known as the Canvas dashboard. And you'll notice that there are some cards on this screen. If you are an instructor, for every course you have in Canvas, for every course you're teaching, you will have a card. So if you want to get into the course, you'll just click on the appropriate card to get you into the course. The other thing you should notice on the dashboard, there's a to-do list of upcoming assignments and also a brief calendar list to show you things that are coming down the road. So if there's a quiz that's going to be deployed soon or some grading that needs to be done, you'll see it on the right-hand side of the screen here in Canvas. Also, if you go over to the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the global navigation bar, which we've already talked about, with your help file here, and that's always helpful for Canvas resources, so don't forget about that. What I want to do now is get into the system. So as I said earlier, the dashboard is here. Every course that you have is represented by a card. And one of the things we want to introduce you to in this video is the notion of a sandbox. Now, a sandbox is a course shell that you will have in your instance of Canvas. So you'll see that when you log in. And a sandbox is just like it sounds. It's an area to play around in and to experiment. So as you go through these various training sessions in Canvas and you learn how to create new pages or create new modules, you'll go into your sandbox to do that. It's an area where you can experiment with different things without being in a real course. So I've renamed my sandbox my workshop, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you see that I land on my modules page. When we get into the training video on pages, I'm going to show you how to create a custom page and make that the landing page for your course. But right now I have it set to modules, and you can see there's a choose homepage button over here. We'll get into that in a subsequent video. For right now, what I want to introduce you to is some real basic settings. And if you notice here in the course navigation area on the left-hand side of the page, some of these links are black and some of them are grayed out. And often we get some questions about that. Quite simply, the black links are active and the gray links are inactive. Now, they'll work for you, but your students won't see the gray links. And I want to take a minute to show you really quick how you would change these navigation links. If you go into Settings, you're going to see at the top of the Settings page some tabs, and there are various options here that we'll go through, but not in this session. But I just wanted to introduce you to navigation. So if you'd want to change one of these navigation links on the left-hand side of the page, all you have to do is drag it from the top active list down into the inactive list if you want to hide these from students. So for example, if you're not going to have a chat room in your class, you can take this chat link and drag it down to inactive. You'll notice that it's black right now, which means it's an active link. And if I drag it down to the inactive link area and drag and drop, you'll see that it's down here. When I hit save, my page will refresh and the chat link will no longer be visible in the active files area. And I can move it back up if I want to and hit save, and you'll see that it reappears. So that gives you a quick overview of how to change navigation settings in Canvas. The other thing I want to introduce you to is I want to introduce you briefly to the file system in Canvas, because as we go on with subsequent modules, you're going to learn how to create a page, how to create discussion boards and quizzes, and you may need content for those things. And by content, I mean a PDF file, maybe images, especially when you're creating pages. So I want to introduce you to file storage, course file storage, so you'll know how to store things and how to pull those resources out when we learn how to create pages. So if you go down on the left-hand side and click on Files, you'll see a pretty typical file tree. Now, you can set this up any way you want, but the best practice is to set up a folder for each module, and you could put your content, your module content, in appropriate folders if you'd like. I happen to have a folder for images, for media, and I also have a separate one for syllabus. You can organize these in any fashion, but how to create a folder is really straightforward. You just go over to the right-hand side of the page at the top, click on New Folder, and we can name this. So we'll just name this new folder. We'll put a check mark next to it to confirm. And now if we want to put something in our folder, we can click on it, go over to the blue Upload button, and we can select a resource off of our computer. So let's say in this case I want to upload a Word document. I can do that. Click on Open, and my Word document will upload into the system. So that's a quick overview of the file system and some ideas for organizing files, best practices for organizing files, so you can find resources when you need to put them into Pages. And in the next training video, we're going to learn about how to create modules and how to move items around in modules.